I'm the Chief Program Officer here at the Early Learning Coalition. Thank you for joining us in person, and thank you to those of you that are online. We're glad that you took the time out of your day to join us because this is going to be the last meeting before November. I know it sounds funny. We're canceling October. You're welcome. And I'm starting that off so that our staff can say it again to you, and then again one more time at the end as we switch over. But welcome and thank you again for joining us today. I just want to do a couple of shout outs. In the room, we have lots of new staff with the coalition. You guys want to wave? Sure. Hey, everybody. Hi. We have lots of new staff, and we are just like you. We're trying to fill spots that we still have open. We still have 2 seats in our quality department. So if you love know somebody, not you, because we don't recruit from providers, but if you know somebody that loves to stand in front of people and do what I'm doing and talking to you right now, tell them to shoot an email over here to these people so that we can give them an interview and maybe get them on board. Not you again or your staff, the people you know. Couple of shout outs that I'd love to give is we have a provider in here who recently made accreditation to their Gold Seal status. So I want to ask you to join me in congratulating All Stars, Miss Christy, the director. Congratulations, becoming accredited means that your site has gone above and beyond to do a self-study and to really put in place those things that are required to have another accrediting agent come in and say you're the best. Perks that go along with that are increased reimbursement rates. You get to brag to your parents, your staff have additional training, there's all sorts of things. And Christy, thank you for all the efforts that you and your team made. We're proud of you. And we also, the coalition supports accreditation. So when you go to get renewed, we will reimburse you 100% for your renewal process when you go to renew it. So that's one of our best kept secrets, along with our professional development reimbursements that we do, which most of you guys already know. The other congratulations I'd like to give is, I don't know if any of you know, Dr. Sarah James. You heard of that name? So she's the owner of one of our Kid City branches here in Ocala, and she just was elected to join our school board. So what a great connection between our early learning and the school board, and that's wonderful. So we'd like to publicly congratulate Dr. Sarah James, and she's here, and today she's probably off doing other things. So here we go. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Lily.
Hi, y'all. I'm here, thanks. For those of you who are in here, you can actually see the wall. Well, it got folded, didn't it? It got folded. The picture online, we actually have that wall here for Shaping the Future, and the person I'm going to talk about today is Miss Susan Dewey, and her and Destiny created that beautiful artwork, and they create a lot of the beautiful artwork that you see in here all the time. But more importantly, she's also our program assistant, and she helped me write this little bio, so I'm going to read it really quickly to you guys. Susan Dewey started. Let me scroll this. Trying to do 2 things at once. Sometimes it's not always. Yeah, here we go. There we go. Everybody, we want you to know.
There she is.
There she is. So, all right. So Susan Dewey started as a volunteer at the coalition with her husband, who helped bring the Success by 6 program into the community. Everybody know what Success by 6 is? Yep, I hope so. Okay, if you don't by now, we're in trouble.
That'll be the next topic in November.
Yeah. Okay, she volunteered for 10 years until 4 years ago, the coalition recognized her contribution in the need to make it official. Susan has been our program assistant for every program offered by the coalition ever since. While helping in most departments, she hates to say no. She works with primarily Success by 6 and Read Out Loud 15 programs. She also does a lot with the providers, helping with their needs, such as art materials and lamination. So when you guys keep calling me for those appointments, guess who really schedules the appointments? It's Susan Dewey. So when providers need a workroom, they call for appointment because she works part-time hours, so please keep that in mind. She will work with the provider's hours as much as possible. When lamination is needed, You don't have to make an appointment for that. You can just drop it off, fill out a form, and she'll take care of it for you and let you know when you can pick it up. She has a passion for the ELMP and what it stands for, and as a valued veteran, Susan finally found her happy place and loves to pass it on through staff, families, and children, especially, and parents. So without further ado, Ms. Susan G is going to do a demonstration. You have these nice, beautiful shapes for packets in front of you. And for those of you at home, we'll try, feel free to listen. And it's about shaping the future. And you can also take a look at her YouTube channel. If you go to our website, elc-marion.org, you can go to her YouTube channels and see all the other crafts that she's created.
He is the face of our YouTube channel.
Hi, y'all have these little squares in front of you. Think of them as children. If you have 10 children in your classroom, these things look similar, but in reality, they're all different. If you give each child one of these, they are going to create different things. Now, we did put a cheat sheet in here to give you a start, but trust me, it's not the last thing that you can do. You can do just about anything you want. And so these squares, like I said, they just represent one child, and every child's different. Children are influenced by their surroundings from the moment they're born. And so what a child does with these little shapes affects what they've learned. And the more they learn, the more creative they're going to be. And so as a provider, you are giving these children an opportunity to become more creative. You might have a child that comes in and they're shy, they don't want to play with anybody. Maybe they don't have a brother or sister, or they don't know how to play with other children. Over time, you're going to see how the experience of being in your classroom, they become more open, more aware of their surroundings, and become more friendly with other kids, and they learn. So they're expanding their relationship with you, with the other kids. And so they become stronger. And the ways that you can influence is through playtime, through reading, songs, learning their ABCs and their numbers, and they become stronger people. And all these activities, both the tiny things that we don't even think about, to the big ones that we know are going to affect the children, so we're aware of it, they all make these children become, they open up their minds to new ideas and makes them stronger and develop a love for reading. I have 2 children. I like to say I have 2.5 children, but I only raised the other one from her teenage years on. I have a foster daughter, but my first daughter is 40 plus years old. And I, as a young mother, we didn't have daycare, childcare, any kind of that back in the 50s and 60s, 70s. But I love to get on the ground and watch my daughter see the world from her point of view instead of me being up here and she's down there. I look at it from her point of view, and she'd be walking and she'd pick up the tiniest thing, and I would walk right past her, but she was fascinated. And those are the kind of experiences that children need to have. They have to be recognized for what they know and what they see. So just remember, as you're teaching your children and giving your children experiences, remember that they are growing to be a responsible young child and an adult, and it's all because of you. It's all because you put the time and the energy into it. So have fun with the different objects that we have in this puzzle. Have fun with it. Maybe let the children play with it. Nothing's going to hurt them. And just know that you are helping the children in your classrooms experience things that's going to make them outstanding young people. So have fun.
Susan?
If you'd known me 10 years ago, I wouldn't be here.
Fantastic job. And these interactive puzzles, so our theme for the year at the coalition, we try to pick a theme every year. Our theme is shaping the future. Susan and Destiny and all of the team actually have helped with the thought process behind it, but Susan and Destiny are our creative minds that came up with the puzzle. It's a super easy puzzle to make. Aiden, you guys all know him too, because he's also your kid.
Yeah.
He was like a test subject for it and sat in one of our staff meetings with us and was like, you got this. I'm doing this one and this one and this one. And it was great. And it's really cool to see something that somebody's creative genius come to life. So thank you.
Thank you.
And Susan's about to celebrate her 50th wedding anniversary.
Yeah, my husband, October 21st, will be married 50 years. We were both in the Navy and nobody thought it would last 2 minutes, much less 50 years.
I want to be you when I grow up.
And you keep saying that. And one of the reasons why I have you guys not call me every 5 minutes for things, because I'm never in my office.
No, it's just 3 offices here, there, and there.
All over the place. So I am helping everybody do whatever they can do. Whatever I can do to help them make them look good to you or to the community.
Thank you.
I get to work, I got an event on Saturday.
Yeah, you've got a lot to do. Bye. Do we have any partners online that would like to share anything? Usually it's DCF, sometimes we have other partners too.
Storage Dixie.
He's a provider, but hi, Mr. Diggs.
Can you help me make sure I don't miss anybody? Because I don't know all of my.
Let's see, if you are from DCF and you're online, Richard Forrester, Avita,
Can
those
you
are
raise-
usually our two. Go ahead and unmute yourself or raise your hand. and we'll
That's what I was fixing to say. If you're I don't want to forget anybody, so if you could just raise your hand and let me, that would help me
It's
find
usually
you.
Avita or Richard.
I'm looking down the list. This is a very long list.
That's good. That means we got lots of people on.
Oh,
Well,
Tasman, you have your hand up. Is that a question?
she's just saying hi.
Or are you just saying hi? Okay, I don't see any community partners at this.
No problem. We've got a lot going on. We don't need any more updates, right? But I'm about to give you one. I'm taking all of Marcy's time, so I'm going to ask, if you have a packet in front of you, you scoot past, I think, about 4 pages. We're going to talk about the ARPA Stabilization Subgrant Provider Application Monitoring Tool. I always get the long name stuff. Online, you have it in front of you now. Do you remember when we had you come in for your ARPA grant and we said, keep everything because this is going to be monitored? It's here, it's time. We are working with 3 providers every quarter. It's a random drawing of the luckiest people on the face of the earth, Catherine. I know you're on. But the luckiest providers every quarter that we get to work with have to provide pretty much everything that you said you were going to do in your follow-up, the survey that you have to do for your second pot of money, if you will. So if you told us you paid $800 in staff salaries, we're going to ask you to give us the $800, proof of the $800 that you spent. So basically, I don't want to take a whole lot of time on this because it does only impact 3 providers every quarter. But the impact, what we found, the tool is only a couple pages long, right? It's all right here. We want you to see what we have to ask you for. And I did this great, fantastic, I think it's the best YouTube video ever, walkthrough of this tool. And it's on our YouTube channel. But what we will do is if you are one of the lucky chosen, we are doing everything we can to try to make this as easy as possible on the providers. The walkthrough basically just tells you what we're looking for each section of this tool, okay? This may never impact you, but you still need to save all your stuff because if you are chosen, there is a whole compliance piece we have to do with it. And there's follow-up, and just like everything else we're doing this year, it's new to all of us. So we're trying to do everything we can to make it as smooth as possible. Thank you to the providers who got chosen already and are working with us now because we're asking for a lot. We have to go back and ask them for more detailed information because it's their first time too, right? So they're giving us what we're asking for in a way, right? So we have to look at it and then go, okay, hold on, can you add this to it? Can you give me one piece of it? And one thing to keep in mind, when you make purchases, there's two different pieces that go with it, right? There's the invoice that tells you how much you have to pay, and there's the proof of payment, that you made the payment. So when you're submitting something for a purchase, we need both of those pieces. So let me pause, because I didn't go through the whole tool. You have it, you can look at it. If you are one of the lucky ones that get chosen, because we're in the middle of our first. We end this first group by next Friday, the 30th. And then our next group, we only have until like November 5th, I think, or something to that nature. And the dates are in the back or in it, and tells us how long we have. So we'll be reaching out to 3 more providers to get you on the next one for Q2. Are there any questions about this monitoring piece?
Don't see any as of yet.
Okay. We have gotten some questions about the next round. Mary, I'm afraid to say, what's your question?
If they have questions,
Yes.
who do they call?
If they have questions, okay, I'll accept that question. If they have questions, who do they call? You always scare me. If they have questions, so right now, we're kind of tag teaming the ARPA program. So if you remember Natisha, she's back there in the back. She was like our go-to person for the first initial application process. And then the ARPA application and how it works for anybody who's new or hasn't done this yet, or is getting ready to when the second round comes out, the payments that you apply for are broken into 3 different payments. In order to receive those, you have to fill out a survey for each one. So the first payment came with an application process. We had everybody come in, we had like 20 meetings in the evening, and we worked with you as much as one-on-one as we could to get everybody processed through. Natisha went through a lot of them after the fact and made sure you were eligible. So the second round of payments happens 90 days after your first. You have to go in and fill out an application. It's a survey through the portal. You fill that out. And then the third payment, so a lot of you, most of you, probably all of you, have gotten your second round of payments already. The third one happens another 90 days after your second payment. So you'll have to go in and be looking for that survey again. You're going to complete that survey that says nothing's changed and you're doing everything you're supposed to do and everything's great. You submit that, we give you your third payment. This whole process is going to happen again next year. There are some changes coming down the pipe. We don't know what those are yet, but I'm just giving you that heads up. We're going to do this again, and we probably are going to do it the same manner for the first initial application round as we did the first time. Meaning we're going to hold those meetings, ask you to come to one. Mondays seem to work really well for you all, which really shocked us. We learned something new about you, but you're fresher on Mondays than you are any other day of the week. So we'll probably do them, especially when we're talking about money and funding and things like that. Like I said, we don't know what it's going to look like. So right now, if you have questions to answer Mary's question, you can go to Marcy, myself, or Natisha. If Natisha doesn't know the answer, she's going to send it over to us. If it's about monitoring, me and Latricia are kind of going back and forth with it. If you can't reach one of us, reach out to one of our staff. They will get you over to whoever it is that you need to talk to. Okay. Any questions about ARPA? None online, Lily? Okay. The next thing in your packet is a child care provider cost of care survey. This survey you probably already received from the Division of Early Learning a week or so ago. There is some new language in statute that is requiring the EL to collect the cost of your business, basically. What does it cost you to offer childcare? Eventually, this is slated to be put into EFS Mod, so that when you go to update your profiles, it's going to ask for some of this information, we believe. There's a lot of talk about this survey out there. They're asking that you complete it. Do your best to answer the questions. Just don't think too much into them. Just answer the questions based on what you see here. Have any of you experienced any issues with this survey? Do you recall getting it? You do, just
I do have a question from the ARPA, I'm sorry.
From ARPA? Okay,
Is it expected to be a similar amount of funds next year?
potentially. You love that vague answer. We probably think it's gonna be higher. So, but we don't know yet. We don't have all those details, but probably, maybe.
Thank you.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But no, hopefully it will be. So the survey, there's more to come. There's a lot of discussion across the state about this survey and about the implications legally of it. What does it mean for us? Right now, it's gathering a baseline of data on what it costs you to do business. That's what we are trying to encourage, is that it become a baseline and not the cost of childcare. Because these questions don't necessarily take in everything that you do, okay? So we just wanted to make sure you are aware. If you haven't found it, look in your sandbox. This time it's a survey. It may come down to being a part of your provider profile in the future. As of right now, it has been emailed to you. Okay. So one other thing I want to cover before I introduce our newest department at the coalition is, you may recall recently, there was and actually it's in the news today, there was a murder out at the Baseline Trailhead Park. Do you remember that? It was last Monday, I believe. The shooting happened. None of you got informed by us. I know you didn't, because we didn't get informed until after it happened, so we couldn't have informed you. This is a big deal, and it's something that we take very seriously. We've come a long way in the ability to connect with you when emergency situations happen or police activity happen around your sites. We're not quite where we would like to be. So I wanted to address it because I've had some very, I would say in-depth at this point, conversations with a provider who was very close to that site where that happened and gotten no word whatsoever. So I just want to revisit how our PEARLS program works. So for those that don't know what PEARLS is a database system, and I'm not going to get the acronym right, but it's basically an awareness system that allows us to deploy or initiate a call to a child care facility. Anybody, they don't have to be contracted with us, legally operating facility in Marion County, when there's police activity within 2 or 3 miles of your site. How that has to happen, though, is it's initiated through school SROs, school resource officers. So when a resource officer is made aware of a situation around the school that they are in charge of, they choose to put the school on lockdown, they will call us and let us know. We will initiate our PEARLS call. And what we do is we do something called data scraping. And what it does is it narrows down, Marcy, are you proud of me? I know the word. We do something called data scraping, which breaks down the address of where the activity is. And it depends, we can expand it, and we have expanded it before to 6 miles around because maybe it was a hot pursuit or something. We don't always know what it is. We just know there's police activity in the area. So we will do a data scraping, bring up all the providers that are within a 2 or 3 mile radius, that's our typical, of that area. And we'll send you an automated call that says there's police activity in your area. You can choose to invoke your emergency plan, right? Then we get the all clear call, and we usually send an all clear after. The whole process takes usually less than 5 minutes from us getting the call to our amazing staff that get that, do the data scraping, send it out to you. We can't do that if the SRO doesn't lock down the school. So we also can't do that in the summertime when it's Friday and none of the schools are open or nobody's there. So we are looking into ways of making the system more robust. Had a discussion just this morning and then again this afternoon to talk about just things going on. How can we do that? So wanted to just give you an update on how the PEARLS system works. So if you don't get a call from us, it is helpful when you say this happened in my area, because it allows us to have a conversation with law enforcement then to say, what can we do? So it's not perfect. We've come a long way, but do you want to share?
I do, as you get into, sorry, I forgot everything. The ones that, in order to,
You might want to come closer.
I want to make sure that everybody understands that in order to receive those calls, they do come from a phone bite system.
Yeah.
So they are what pre-recorded during our hurricane season. We use them to keep you guys up to date. If you say, take me off this call list, guess what? You are not going to get those calls. So I want to make sure everybody understands. If you're not getting them, and you find out a neighboring person who is in that 2 to 3 mile radius is getting them, more than likely it's because you've said, take me off this call. If that's the situation, please send us an email and we will go in and reverse that in the software system.
Yeah, we have to manually do it.
Keeping consistency of the message that goes out, whether it's our constant contact, the phone bite will send an email and a voice message out, and it tracks who's picked up the phone and who went to voicemail, whose line is no longer there, all of those pieces. So that's very important to make sure that you don't say, unenroll me from either our constant contacts or our phone bite system.
And that is good for all providers that are legally operating in Marion County. And if you are not in our county, but you are an out-of-county provider contracted with us, you're on that list too. So if you have friends that are in, Denellen or something where that line is, at Citrus and it's Marion, they're getting those calls too. So I just wanted to bring that up because I don't want you to think, because we've gotten a lot, and sometimes we get angry calls. Why didn't you call me? We didn't know. We didn't know. And sometimes, unfortunately, we find out through Facebook at 7 o'clock at night. It's not a perfect system. Any questions about Pearls?
I have a question.
Yes.
We're close to what used to be called the centers.
Yeah.
So what happened with them? I don't think they have SRR roles. They just, I know that normally they would places around and they come out
Yeah.
and tell us.
So Centers has been turned into SMA. I can tell you, we got a call last week from the hospital, right, from West Marion, that said, we're going on lockdown because we're looking for a patient.
Yeah.
We made the choice because our policy, our procedure requires us to get a call from law enforcement in order to do that. This was not police activity. So we didn't do the call out because there are sometimes, we'll be calling you 6 times a day if we did it for everything. And I'm not sure that you really want that. I don't know that we can handle that. That's a lot of trauma for all of us. But SMA, I have not had interaction with that. So when we're having our follow-up conversations, I'll ask because you're very close and you're not the only one that's right there in that corridor section of our community. So that'll be something that when I sit down, I'm going to write that down and make sure we cover it in those conversations. You have any questions on mine?
And that I didn't.
Okay. Any input in here? Okay. Now I have the pleasure of introducing our brand new department under the coalition. We used to have this department and then we didn't, and now we do again. Michaela, may I introduce you and your team? So Michaela's in the back. Do you want to say anything?
Hello.
She's our compliance director, brand new compliance director. Her team is Ricaldine and Delania. You know Delania already, she's been in the quality department helping you with your profiles. Now she's going to be in the compliance department helping you find out how to fix your profile. So our compliance department is coming back because with all the new regulations, you know we had 35 new rules passed and put in play this year for early learning. So while we are a very good topic of conversation in Tallahassee, there's a lot of regulation, unfortunately, that goes with it. We're not here to be the bad guys, but we're here to help you get back on track if something were to fall. The best way to do that is to stay in communication with us. So you still have our quality department that will help you through your provider profiles, and Lily, that's Janet's side. Lily helps with professional development and technical assistance to help you come back into compliance if you happen to fall out of compliance or you need help. And then our compliance team in the back, they're going to be the ones that come out and do your monitoring piece. It is really important for us to keep those things separated so that you know who to go to. If there is a compliance issue, you're going to go to compliance. They're going to talk you through what the issue is. Our quality department can help you come back into compliance and fix it, figure out ways to come back into it. So when compliance goes back out, they're like, you're great now. Perfect. That's what we all want, is that pretty A on our paper. What else? Anything else with that? Any questions?
We have additional new staff members that everybody needs to know about.
Talk loud.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'll be handling reimbursement.
So Lydia has a partner now.
Yay!
Pleasure to meet you all. I'm Joseph Skiro. I'm the new data integrity specialist.
That integrity.
So Joseph is learning everything about EFS mod when it breaks. I'm trying to take what's in my head and give it to him with that.
There's lots.
And we have,
Rachel, I'm working the account.
she's gonna be paying y'all. Yay. She's your new best friend.
Okay,
We have one more that
Yeah, one
Janet's
more.
gonna introduce.
so we have a new quality team member, Ms. Natalia Seda, in the back. And also, we have a quality team recently moved to family services. Jana. Donna.
Donna Conan.
Cohen, okay.
She ain't there yet, y'all.
Donna's been working with Lily's team for a little bit and she's gonna work at this. I'm gonna sit down now.
Okay, so I'm up next. So we are going to discuss school readiness and PK updates. So first I'll start with school readiness. I want to touch on temporary closures. This is very important. When you're submitting your temporary closures, it's important for you to submit them on time. When providers submit a temporary closure, you have to have the proper backup documentation. So that means that if a COVID closure, you need that COVID questionnaire from DCF or the ELC COVID questionnaire. This is where some providers go wrong. You submit the closure, but you don't submit the documentation. I cannot process your closure if I do not have that documentation. If you submit your backup documentation a month later, your closure does not get processed. And then you don't get paid for those days, okay? That falls, or that affects reimbursement, that affects your attendance because you put that you were closed for those days, that you submitted your temporary closure, but you didn't follow the proper steps. So you take your time when you're submitting a temporary closure to follow up with quality, the quality team. Let us know I submitted a temporary closure. Let us know the reason for the closure. We're gonna follow back up with you after you get you submit your documentation. If you have not submitted it, you can always go to Blue Jeans, submit your documentation to Blue Jeans. And then I can take it and submit it in your closure for you. So if we don't have it, it cannot be submitted and we cannot process it, okay?
And your attendance will be rejected.
Yes, that's, yes.
Say it again for those up front.
Your attendance will be rejected. Okay. Okay, oh, and then this is another one. If you submit the temporary closure after your attendance has been rejected, we still can't process it, okay? So please take your time, reach out to quality, let us know what is going on so that we can help you, okay? Now, we're gonna move on to transfers and termination. So this is another important thing that all providers need to know, especially if you have multiple sites. If you wish to transfer a child from one of your sites to another, you can't just do that on your own. So you can't take that, that transfer form. Let me pull it out. So,
This one? Is this it?
Parental choice form?
yeah,
So parental choice?
or the withdrawal form.
Yeah.
So you just can't take that form and sign off on it and then put that child into your second center. So let's say, for example, Janet's Child Care 1. Okay, I have a 4-year-old, a 4-year-old who's turning 5. Janet's Child Care 2. Okay, if it's the one, just change it. You cannot just move that child to the next center. You have to have the parent sign off on that form, okay? If you transfer that child to another center and we don't know about it and you're want to get reimbursed for that child, that's gonna affect your attendance too. You just can't do that, okay? So we need you guys to take your time, make sure your rates are up to date on your profile. I would say it'd be best practice to make sure you have a rate for all the areas, all the ages, okay? Because when you don't, and you transfer that child, then we have to go back and we have to check attendance and so on and so forth. And then sometimes you may not get reimbursed for that child, okay? And this also could fall into non-compliance without you notifying the coalition of the child transfer and filling out the correct form, okay?
And for those of you online, I'm sorry, I was a little slow scrolling down. There's the correct. Thank you, Latricia.
Lily,
That's the
we'll
correct.
have to send out the correct forms.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
We'll have to send out the correct forms to them.
Okay, so for those of you who online, Marcy said they'll have to send out the correct form.
Okay, and so the same is for a withdrawal form. If you have a child that has not been attending your center, and they haven't been in the center for 5 consecutive days, if you withdraw that child from the center, you don't need to notify the coalition a week or two after, or even months after that child is no longer attending. So, our family services representative coordinator has informed me that we have multiple providers who are notifying her of children that have been withdrawn from their center months or weeks after the child no longer attending. Okay, so we need to take the time to notify the coalition of any children that are not attending your site, any children that are going to be transferred from your site. We need to be aware of that, okay? Right, so the next thing, we're going to move from school readiness on to VPK. And again, we may have the wrong forms up here, but we will make sure that you have the correct forms so that you know what to use, okay? VPK termination. So I want to take the time and just say this is very important. VPK is a free program. Parents should not be charged for this program. If a parent chooses to tell you, I want to transfer my child from your center to another center, that's their choice, okay? You cannot tell a parent, I'm not going to allow you to transfer this child because you didn't give me a 2 weeks notice. Although that may be in your policies, we cannot hold that policy here, okay? It's important for us to work with our parents and find them the proper care and services they need. So if they choose another provider, that is absolutely their choice. Please do not tell a parent you have to pay me because you didn't give it 2 weeks notice. Do not charge a parent for VPK. It is free, okay? We are going to call you and follow up with you if we find out that you are doing that, okay? Okay, so the rest of VPK, I have a lot to say. We're going to discuss the tablets, the monitoring, the emergent literacy, and class support.
I told her, she said, you better bring your water because you got a lot to talk about.
But y'all know my voice. I got 20 minutes. Okay.
Just saying.
VPK tablet. I have been emailing all providers to come and pick up their tablets. I know that it's been hard sometimes with your schedule. So if you have not received your tablet, I know you got an email from me because I know that I sent it. So please take the time to go over that email, make an appointment with me or any policy staff member to come and pick up your tablet. This is important for you to complete your progress monitoring 1, 2, and 3. If your tablet is not working, please let us know. We can't take the tablet back. We cannot fix the tablet, but we can give you information of the manufacturer and we can follow up there.
Can I ask a question?
Mm.
Have any of you had any issues with your tablets? You have? Okay. What kind of issues are you having?
I mean, it's hard to log in, access at one of the centers. One center is okay.
It's not an internet issue? Okay.
So that's another issue.
Okay. I'm trying to see, we've had some experience across the state with a lot of coalitions saying that their providers are having a lot of issues. We hadn't heard of a lot of issues with the actual machine itself. So I just wanted to see if anybody was, Anita, did you say yes? But
I'll
we're sure.
push mine and then it just starts glitching or it just starts automatically talking. Yeah.
I have heard that from
Okay.
another coalition. We do have warranty paperwork that we have been given that we can pass to you guys because they're not in our inventory.
Right.
We're releasing them to you guys.
Okay.
They're
Yeah.
your property. Myself and my team can't do anything about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it
I
via
apologize.
email? You can send it to me or you want me to?
Yep.
Okay. Perfect.
Really, will you, thank you.
Already ahead of you.
So also about the tablets, providers who have multiple sites, although not multiple sites, but multiple PPK classrooms, you receive more than one tablet for each classroom. Providers who only have one classroom, we only have that one tablet. We have extra tablets back there. We're going to do a count of those tablets and follow up with our providers who only had one classroom to get an additional tablet. Okay. Now we're going to move on to progress monitoring. Those providers who have completed their progress monitoring, thank you. We appreciate you. I know that
Huge
this is
deal. Good job.
hard because it's something new. So we want to thank you for that. Providers who have not completed their progress monitoring. I'm pulling the reports Tuesdays and Thursdays, okay? Some providers are 96% complete, are 0, okay? Take your time. Notify us if you have an issue with the tablet or issue getting it to Renaissance. We cannot help you if we do not know what your issue is. If I check the report and I see that you are not complete, I'm going to follow up with an email of the status of where you are completing your progress monitoring, okay? This is a requirement, this is very important. Yes,
Sorry, it won't let me do it because I don't have the keys yet.
Right.
To put in there, so just.
You don't, yeah, you only have, and that's the other thing, and I'm sure Janet might cover this,
Yeah.
how the children are populated in. The other thing, I'm gonna say this just while I have the floor for a second, sorry. I've heard providers calling my team, when you know I'm super productive of all of you, but my team, saying, I just need to come in and you just need to do it for me. We cannot. First of all, it's data integrity, right? It's you need to have your staff that are doing this, entering it into the system. We cannot do it for you. So please, we can sit next to you while you log in and help walk you through it. We can set an appointment for that. We cannot do it for you. And we had one provider that said, well, I'm just not going to do anything until you do it for me. Then you're going to be out of compliance. We don't have a choice here, guys. We don't. We're all in this together and we'll do everything we can to support you, but we don't have a choice. And if that's the route you're going to take, then we can't do a whole lot. We can't. So, okay, I'm done.
Well, we
now.
can
So far.
direct you to the people who can help.
okay, so I'm gonna do, try to finish as quickly as I can. Emergent literacy requirements, so that has been extended to October 15th, that is the deadline. My team has been keeping track of those providers and teachers who need to complete that 15-hour emergent literacy requirement. We're gonna follow up with you, find out where you are, and encourage you to read those constant contact emails because they're coming out with dates of, trainings and classes that are available to you. If your staff has not completed that, then your profile, your app is going to be in rejected status, and then payment may have to be withheld because you will not have a qualified lead teacher in your BPK classroom. So try your best to get on it, work with your team, and do what you have to do. BPK enrollments, if you do not have 4 students to start your BPK program, notify us, because you may have to adjust your calendar, you will have to adjust your BPK calendar, and the family services will be notified as well, the BPK coordinator, Michelle Urban. Okay? I'm gonna talk about class, it's gonna be really quick, I'm gonna follow up with the email to you about this, guys, okay?
And you have reference in your packet.
Yes, okay, so BPK class observation, which is program assessment, is starting this year. It's gonna continue until they tell us what to do. Okay, so this is for all public and private BPK programs that is school year and summer, okay? So if you're have a school year and a summer, you're gonna be assessed. The class assessment will start sometime in October. Mary will be getting with you to make sure your QPS registration is complete. For your BPK, your app needs to be up to date always, okay? That's where the information for your classroom and your lead teacher is gonna come from. The lead teacher is the only one that can be observed, not the sub, not the aide, just the lead teacher, okay? If you make changes to your app, it can take up to 2 weeks for that information to be updated into well, and that puts you behind. All BPK programs must have a program assessment completed with this class before the end of their program. Okay? Once we have verified that your classroom and instructor information is complete, we will notify the providers that your upcoming assessment is going to come up again because we partnered with Teachstone to conduct the class assessments. So we're going to send you an email letting you know that you're going to receive another email from Teachstone, your observer or your assessor, to come out, and they're going to set up a 2-week window with you guys to get your assessment completed, okay? BPK is different from school readiness. In BPK, we can tell you the date that they're going to come out. With school readiness, we cannot tell you the date that they're going to come out. So if you are SR and BPK provider, we may not tell you the date that they're going to come out because we plan on doing both assessments at the same time, okay? And that's to help you guys and not stress you out so much.
We stress everybody out at the same time.
I'm sorry, I'm letting you go. All BPK assessments must occur during the BPK instructional hours, okay? So they're gonna come during those set times, okay? For my BPK only providers, if you need assistance or materials on class or what is class, there's information in this packet. And we will also have additional information to give you if needed, okay? And I believe that is all.
So you're gonna see some new assessors coming onto your site from Keystone. Last year, we partnered with the Children's Forum. This year, the whole state, we've got about, 200 more assessments, 189 more assessments that we have to do this year versus last year. So you're gonna see different people. Treat them like you would anybody else. Ask for their ID. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to add, in addition to the program assessment and the progress monitoring, our compliance team will also be coming out to select the number of providers conducting the on-site BPK monitor.
You're gonna see us all year. Yay.
So, one last thing, Fargo. These are new assessment sections that So if you receive, well, when you receive that email, try your best to pay attention to it. If you have not received the email from the quality team or Teach Zone, let us know. Also look into your spam to make sure that, no, it's not there, so that we can work with you and get this program assessment done, okay? And that's all that I have on the lot.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
Anybody that's coming out, is it still the assessment that you all had given us?
The same monitoring
The
tool?
same monitoring?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
SR monitoring tool has not changed and the VPK monitoring tool will be available. Right?
are you talking about the class observation or are you
Yes.
talking, the class, so all observers have to be certified. So they're all certified the same way any of our team would be on the same tool that you have seen in the past.
So there's 3 assessments. You've got school readiness monitoring tool, which you're familiar with. It's Crichton Bay. And then you have the VPK monitoring tool, which is being updated with the new requirements, and that'll be available soon, right, Latricia? I'm looking at Latricia for confirmation.
Maybe.
And then the class, and this will be a perfect segue into professional development. Eve, can you help me with the computer, please?
For like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
All right, yeah, she's got to go. I'm not gonna try to keep this quick because I know we're very, very close to 2 o'clock. So the, help me out, where was that, class?
Class.
You're talking
The
about
class assessments, we have a class pre-K 101 webinar available on our website that was recorded and available for you guys to watch. It goes through the class assessment dimensions that are covered, that the things that we're looking for, the teacher-student interactions and all that kind of good stuff. So feel free to go to elc-marion.org. Also on our website, I'm very, very happy to announce that registration is now open for virtual pre-K, formerly known as MMCI class group coaching. There's only 20 spots available. It starts September 26th, that's Monday evening from 6:30 to 8:30 in the evening with Dawn Espinoza. She's a wonderful instructor from Pasco Hernando County, and it goes through for 12 weeks, finishing on January 16th. There's some times in the holidays where there's some, no training, so that's why it goes out to January 16th, but that is available. It's free, y'all.
Is it
And
virtual?
it is virtual, and you can pick up your packet here at the Coalition. Something else you can get at the Coalition, and Ms. Jonna is gonna help me with this, is she has a sign in, sign out sheet. If you guys are interested in partaking in the Calming Kit, Pyramid Model Calming Kit training, it is a recording that I can email you. John is gonna pass around this clipboard, and you can leave today with this backpack that has all the materials and Calming Kit tools that you can utilize, and the recording will show you how to use the tools. It has a lot of best practices that you can utilize. So John, if you can pass that around, please. And also, for those of you, I had the number written down. Aha, we have 106 English family kits and 4 Spanish kits left. First come, first served. Providers who have completed the Calming Kit recording training when I send it to you, you fill out the survey, you return it to me, I give you a certificate. You can request to have it like an open house at your place, a family night, and you can share the training with your families, and they can take home a family kit, which has similar tools and the instructions and information to utilize those kids at home. So those parents can practice at home what you're trying to implement in the classroom. But that is on a first come, first served basis. And again, I have 106 of the English and only 40. With the cancellation of the October provider meeting, that professional development podcast will also be canceled that month. But that doesn't mean that this week's canceled. It's not. We're still going. As a matter of fact, I highly encourage you to be there. You may recall this was sent out through Constant Contact in an email last week. We're going to be going over all this information that DEL sent you piece by piece and answer any questions and help you out, because not only did they send you all this information, but if you scroll further down, you'll see that they have new resources that are available.
Am I supposed to just hold on?
Yes.
I'm answering questions.
Yeah.
This is, don't put me in charge of stuff. I do my own thing.
So, but it covers anything and everything related to VPK, but we're not just gonna be talking about VPK. At the PD Talk podcast, this is open also for school readiness providers, and we'll also be talking about school readiness opportunities for professional development. Yep, you got it. You can keep
Keep
scrolling.
going.
Yep.
Thanks, Fido.
And
We're going on the ride.
lastly, if
Keep
you can go to the next page that looks like this.
Yay.
Yes, okay, very,
Yeah.
very important. This is for VPK providers, professionals, owners, directors. DEL wants to hear from you. DEL wants to hear from you. Please, please, please take note of these professional development opportunities and community practice. You're going to be meeting with Anna Gonzalez and several other people from DEL. If you ever wanted something changed, or you have something about this whole new VPK process that you want to tell somebody about that's in a, in a position to do something about it, join this community of practice. And folks, it's not just in English, they have one in Spanish too. So if I could find one in Creole, I would have given it to you. So what you do, and I'm going to go over this during the professional development podcast on how to register, because sometimes the registration looks a little wonky. But you can pick any of those dates. There's several dates that are available, so you don't have to, you can click whichever one you want to register for it. But this is a wonderful opportunity to learn about, any questions you may have about class. You can see the talking points that are down there. And that is it for me. Again, the October provider meeting is canceled, and so the PD podcast. Y'all, you better tune in at 12:30 on Friday if you want to know more.
Woo, that was a whirlwind. Any questions?
If I need some calling kits, do I have to come here? Do I just come to you and tell you how many I need?
Are you for doing the Kinder? We already have them. That's what I was trying to.
I'm missing some. I just got a text telling me to pick up some more.
Ask Ms. Martha to get me and how many.
I got it right here.
Okay, I'll give it to you after.
Está bien.
Who's signing up for the training? So I can go ahead and pass out backpacks. Okay, those of you online, as long as they're available and you give me your email address, I can send you the recording. Can you hear me? Can I say that?
Maybe.
Raise your hand if you are signing up for the training. Again, if you're online and you want to partake in this opportunity with the Calming Kids, please submit your email address and your name in your site.
All right, those of you online, we're wrapping up. Of course, you can reach out to us anytime you want. We are here, quality@elc-marion.org. If you've emailed me and you're waiting for a response, thank you. Hang tight. I think I'm down to 300 in my inbox. On Monday it was 700. So I'm moving through it. Love me through it. Appreciate it.
First, okay, so that's why the site is still, okay. Yes, Monday. She didn't say so. Okay, no, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure, because I told the teacher, don't worry about it, because he's passed already gave her. But that's okay. Okay, no worries. Thank you. Yeah, everybody here got it.
It's been all the different.
Yeah. She's already.
Still happening.
Yes,
It is not.
Yeah, I get that. Couple of weeks it comes in at a certain time and I know it's coming, so and money gets, you know, so we are prepared, but we don't
It's
answer
slowing down.
Yes, yes.
I got it. Oh, my God. Yeah.
You never know what's coming through the door.